Next speaker is Professor Koinsola Ajayi. I hope you can hear me, sir.
Yes, I can. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much. Professor Koinsola Ajayi, SAN, is managing partner at Ajayi Law Firm. His expertise spans the yet connected fields of litigation and transactional work, and he has over 39 years experience in banking, project finance, capital markets, power, infrastructure, energy, natural resources, privatization, and dispute resolution. Professor Ajayi played a key role in the Nigerian banking sector reforms and the recent power sector privatization. He represents a wide range of clients in domestic and cross-border commercial disputes. Professor Ajayi led the team that advised the largest single financial transaction in Nigerian financial history. Welcome, Professor, to the platform. Thank you so much. I do understand the sacrifice you're making to be on out of your schedule. Now, the reason why we invited you was we want to look at law as an instrument for social change. We understand the power, and every developed nation, one of the things that they emphasize is that the rule of law and creating a legal framework for prosperity. So the first question I'm going to ask you is, how can we use the law to engage every Nigerian citizen in the task of nation building?
Well, I think I should, first of all, wish all of us happy anniversary. It's a great thing that we're 60 years today, and indeed we're 60 years by virtue of law. And your question as to citizen engagement by virtue of law is something that is very, very, very fundamental and very, very important. And the way to look at it is this: a society carries on when there is peace, when there is order. And those two things can only happen when there is a legal system. A legal system is something that is dependent largely, if not wholly, on the people. So, paradoxically, it is really we, the people, that should make the law work, and not that the law should make us work. We, the people, and especially now that we're 60 years, and we're looking at our next 60 years, when we would be the third most populous nation in the world, we need to begin to look at what John Kennedy said. Ask not what your country will do for you, ask what you will do for your country. And so this today is a call on us as citizens of this country to take on our citizen rights. We've got a constitution, no matter how defective it may be. We've got a whole raft of laws, no matter how they may be, that give us a lot of rights, that give us a lot of benefits. However, they impose on us citizen duties. So the way we shape society, and by applying the law to shape society, is really by self-regulation. It is by you not driving against traffic. It is by you not jumping a queue. It is by you deciding to climb the society of life rather than the path of ease. It is by you using social media and the digital platform to emulate mentors and people that are doing the right things, rather than looking at that place for a false life and those that sell a lie. This really is about, and most importantly, holding our legislators to account. And how do we do that? They all come from our constituency. The Constitution allows us to recall them. Ask yourself, my legislator, who is collecting so much money, one for constituency projects. What constituency project has he done for us? If not done anything for you, you should come round as a people to vote him out of office. And even before then, use your power to recall him. Ask yourself, how much is my legislator being paid? And what is he doing for me? What was my legislator doing before? And what has he done to improve my lot by the laws that he's introducing? Ask yourself, what laws are being made today? We've got a whole raft of laws that are actually stifling us and not aiding business. So my answer in a nutshell is that truly this is the responsibility of us, and by us I mean the majority of us. By majority of us I mean the youth. The future belongs to us, the next 60 years belongs to us, and it's our responsibility to use this law to make sure that in year 60 from today, Nigeria is one of the largest economies in the world, one of the best livable places in the world, and not just one of the most populous countries in the world. Thank you.
All right, sir. I'm going to ask you a very thought-provoking question that people engage in. Now, some people have argued that defining Nigerian citizenship through the paradigm of indigenship rather than residence, which means being an indigene rather than where you reside, has kept the people tribalistic and divided. First, do you agree? And if you do agree, how can the law drive that change of detribalizing people?
I don't agree, and I'm happy Bishop Matthew Kuka is on this program, and my good brother at head of peace this side, and I believe His Highness Ajayi Sanusi Lamido Sanusi. And I mention them because they come from different parts of the country. And these are people from different parts of the country that are Nigerians, love Nigeria, fight for Nigeria, and to them, tribe, state, indigenship does not matter. Now, so what is it that I'm saying, and what is it that we must do? As the law, is the Constitution responsible for this? To an extent. How? When Murtala Muhammad was head of state, we came out of a war, and he, with his colleague Obasanjo, came up with the principle of federal character. It was something that was absolutely laudable. We had just fought a war, we were divided, and they came up with this, we cannot afford not to make sure that we bring all ourselves back together to make sure that we're truly brothers. And now, when Obasanjo was handing us a democracy in 1979, he wrote us a constitution, because don't forget, the Constitutional Assembly drafted something, and it went to the Supreme Military Council, and they amended it the way they deemed fit. And they put things like the federal character in the Constitution. And what has that done for us today? It has bastardized a diversity which should be a source of strength and which should be the means of our unity. It is like the body, and as I said, Bishop Kuka is here. It would tell you that our body is made up of many parts, and it is those many parts that make up the whole. And therefore, not one part is unimportant. As you preached, Pastor Poju, not long ago, you preached about the inner ear and the outer ear, and how important it is that you must listen to your inner ear, and that is what is important. So every part of us is important, and therefore it begins to defy logic when, as His Royal Highness said at the Mano Chapel webinar, we look not at merit, but at state, or indigenship, or indeed tribe, to promote people in the country and to make appointments. So I'm not blaming it on the law, I'm blaming it on us. Yes, we have this in the Constitution, but that provision in the Constitution was supposed to give us a sense of belonging and not anything to divide us. What is dividing us really, though, is the conduct of the people that we have given power to. These are people that are mediocre, and it is mediocrity that is the father of the corruption that is killing the society. And so therefore these people, as Mr. Kudiof has said, combine mediocrity and corruption to whip up indigenship, whip up tribal differences, whip up religious differences to keep themselves in power. There is commonality of COVID amongst us. There is commonality of disease amongst us. There is commonality in recession amongst us. No matter how rich you are, if you are going from Lagos to Ibadan today, you're going to get caught on the expressway, no matter how many mobile policemen you have. So, this thing, citizenship, indigenship, is not something that should come to our lexicon. Am I a Yoruba man? Yes. Am I proud to be a Yoruba man? Yes. Atero Peter said, I'm sure when you're going to see him, he's going to have his bowler hat and his Ijo attire. He's proud to be an Ijo man, but he's married to a Yoruba woman, and he is a Nigerian, first and foremost. But yes, we have a source, and our source must be important to us. But that should not be what is defining. However, we will continue to move to our primordial tendencies as long as the state continues to deprive us of the things that it should give us. And so we would say, Yoruba man must be president, Niger man must be president. Because we think that once my tribesman is the president, then I will get things. And unfortunately, especially today in this government is giving you the impression that where you come from is more important than what you can do. Thank you.
All right, sir. Final question I'm going to ask you has to do with, some people say that the Nigerian constitution concentrates far too much power in the center. They argue, therefore, that we needed to devolve more powers to the smaller units of government to engender healthy competition and catalyze economic development across the country. Do you agree? And what's your take on this?
Yes and no, rather unfortunately. I'm speaking like an economist now. I'm like Atero Peterson. You know, economists always say, if this, then that. Yes and no. Yes and no, why? No, because when you really consider it, each state in Nigeria, every piece of land in Nigeria is abundantly rich. We should not be talking of oil and gas, frankly, right? We should be talking of gold and tantalite and glass sands and bitumen and barite and cocoa. Look, in the whole world, Nigeria, Cameroon, Ivory Coast, Ghana are responsible for 75% of the cocoa production in the world. 75%. The best part of that was Nigeria, no longer is. Cocoa industry is $150 billion. How much of that comes to us? So when you begin to ask yourself, if the governors in these states are actually up to the task of governing, they don't need to go cap in hand to Abuja, which is what we do today. And because our governors and our leaders are lazy and mediocre, and I keep using this word, mediocre, and it's that mediocrity that is driving corruption and not the other way around. And until we get rid of mediocrity in our society, we're going to keep having this problem. Again, I'm going to quote the last hymn of Kano. It says, give me a corrupt man, but a very good man. I'd rather take the very good man because the whole system is still a bit, but a build system. But if he's a good man, but he's useless, he won't steal, but government will be so bad, they'll continue to steal from him. So we need to look at mediocrity in our society. And so in the question, this is your question, is the federal government too strong? As I said, it's not, because each state has enough to generate income. What are we doing today? All our state governments, most of our state governments, are using government to drive business to the ground. They are using government to capture people's money rather than use regulation to facilitate business. Look, if you want to build a house in most parts of Nigeria today, town planners are not looking at the solidity of your building, they're looking at the revenue. That's not what the law is for. The law is to drive ensuring proper town planning. Now, but on the other side of the coin is this, that yes, the federal government is too strong, and the concentration of powers there is part of what drives our politics and drives our division. As there's so much power in the president, I guess there's so much power with the state governors. So it's something that we need to address. It would be a shame if we take powers from the federal government, give them to governors, and the governors become emperors, which is what some of them are today. So really, we need to look at a review of, or we need to look at getting ourselves a true people's constitution, which we do not have today. 1999 constitution was not done by the people. It was a decree by Abubakar, our former head of state. It was a decree. Right. So the federal government is too strong, without any doubt about it. There's too much in the powers of the federal government. And this arose as a matter of the military coup that we suffered in 1966. We had a good federal government where the state governments donated power and donated money to the federal government. The state government, the regional governments were strong. The Nigerian High Commission in London belonged to Western region, right? And all the regions were doing very well, and we know all what they've done. We've seen what has been done in the various regions. I don't want to go about that again. But then came the coup, and the military started a unitary form of government and started aggregating things. Little by little, and Gowon did more, then Babangida did a lot more, and then today we have what we have. This is nothing like federalism. The lawyers and the politicians around us will tell you that this is not federalism. But what we need to do, though, is that we need a proper constitution that looks at our circumstance and ensures that people that we give power are accountable, and that government is an engine for making life better for us, and therefore will bring out our entrepreneurial spirits. We've got millions and millions of young people that are the most talented people in the world. We've got brains, we've got power, we've got strength, we've got stamina, we've got the resources. With everything that we have in this country, we can make a lot of money. And the government should help us to do so. And the way to do this is by government being a facilitator of life and not someone that disturbs life. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. Again, I wish us all a great 60 years.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Professor Ajayi. Thank you so much for taking out time to be with us this afternoon. We'll move straight.